You know we be with it, we off in the hood like some wizards. Nobody ever gave us anything. Meant something from nothing, just like magicians. Gotta relearn everything. Just to remember that I was forgetting. Just to remember that we had a vision. Did it all, don't know how I did it. Time to go start season to go and you know those crystal truths. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Start season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we on the mission. Start season to go and you know those crystal children. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Start season to go and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we on the mission. Off on the mission, you know how it goes. Off in the system, they turn up their nose. They took all the soil, but they didn't know. Through the concrete, you see the ropes. Eyes ain't open, don't mean I ain't woke. Ain't got no cash, don't mean that I'm broke.
Are you ready to awaken, heal, and align with your highest self?
Tough nuts. Okay. So, this card is present. It also usually indicates tears and sorrow. But like rain, they will be fleeting. This isn't a card of lasting misery. However, but one suggests that once you release the emotion through tears of joy, anger, or sadness, it actually is to our benefit. Crying is good for you. Bottling up your feelings is not. A good cry actually reduces.
There. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to surrender it and let it go because you're not that person anymore? Or do you want to transform it because that a little something of that version of who you were in the past
or maybe
still...
doing a bit indifferent. And I think sometimes we get to a point in life where we go, you know what, Effie, just let it go and just...
Ancient Egyptian pyramid meditation with the Egyptian.
Andoko oceana te e no sheshua. Sheshua alahim te she. Kuna de she no ku ande yesuta iena. Sholahu alemihi. Shawa na kia. Kutaim te ushe. Shenata. Welcome in. Come further in. Oh, just take another step. It's okay. The deep dive is for you. To dive further into the unknown of you and unwrap you. Unwrap your presence. Unwrap bualeke tuanaki. Unwrap your now. Taduko ate eshuku ujanatai se lakim sindoku ujaye se na eso. Baluku bahalemeki. You are the beginning. You are the end. You are the middle. You are part of the point of your attraction. You're not outside of it. You're right in it. And you vibe to the outer extremities of all of that is and is not. You vibe to those extremities, those beyond moments, those stories that only take a physical form because of you. Every story, every paradigm, every situation, every circumstance. I know you say, Well, if I'm feeling bad about it, I couldn't have created that. You're the point of attraction that it moves from. You're that point of attraction. The Divine found, this is a book that I haven't read yet, but it was gifted, literally dropped in my person. A friend of mine was moving. She was moving all the way to Nashville. And she came over, and I thought she was just going to say I'll see you later, I'll talk to you later, and we're going to get you on a plane to come visit me. But she brought in her hands, I'm talking and telling you that the Divine just dumps information to you, not just from the ethers, but from everything that is formed. She walked in with these books, and this one is called The Astonishing Power of Emotions. It's by Esther and Jerry Hicks and the Teachings of Abraham. And what the Divine said, open the book, Sandra, just open it. And I opened it to chapter 8, which says, your life flows in a natural cycle. And it pointed me to the bullet points. The first bullet point said, before your birth, from your perspective of source, you set forth the thoughts of coming forth into this physical body. You. Who, me? You. The point of your attraction. Your higher being. The Divine in you. From your source perspective, you gave birth to the idea and the thought of you. The law of attraction, and you say, what? The law of attraction again? Oh, that really doesn't work. But that's from your perspective. The law of attraction responds to the idea and calls forth the manifestation of you. The manifestation of you. The Divine had a wonderful creative thought. I want to seek myself in all that I am and all that I am not. And I want to do it in a physical form. I want to expand and grow. That's called shifting. And I want to evolve. And then guess what? I want to do it all over again. That's the wash, rinse, and repeat cycle. You are your point of attraction. Here today, Ross says, I give you all of what we know and what we did as a third density individual soul, body, and mind entity. And this is how we rose to become, or expanded, grew to become a sixth density complex. This is what we did. Now, the Divine that's within Ra doesn't say you have to do this, but they said, hey, we're going to give you the cheat codes. Why? Because the Divine in us wants you to have them. Ra can't make you use them. Ra can only say, with this, we give it with unconditional love and divine guidance. We're there when you want to walk through these steps. We're there. You may not see us with your physical eye, but go inward. Your point of attraction. Go inward, and that's where you'll hear us. You'll feel us. You'll be with us. You'll know we're with you. Look within yourself and see the Divine, see the Ra, see the source of all that is, which is what Ra is. Ra, just like Jesus said, I am in the Father and the Father is in me. Me and the Father are one. Ra says, I come in the name of, in the experience and expression of all that is and all that is not, the one true creator. You have that same power. Dio shostoku on watsuozana. Over to you, Marcus.
E nai sim te ni suta eme shute eme akute nusu ne ashia na tu I amaya kuta ni emaya na suta I amaya kuta ya iashia uta iemia unasiata. Ishimea tu ya nakuta yamatuya yasinatu atiaka. I feel the love, I feel the presence of Lord Anubis with us today as we continue to journey through our underworld and into the new dawn of our light. And Anubis walks with us through the underworld, giving us an opportunity in this moment, in this space today, during this raw material, to consciously choose to let go, to be present, to empower, and be in the authenticity of your organic flow. May we find our clarity and balance, our groundedness, and our ascension, all as one. And if you may, take a big, deep breath, ground it to the earth, and release. So for everybody out there that may not be aware of sage or the properties of sage, so white sage is commonly used throughout history and time by all corners of the world, not just traditional Native Americans, but in all corners of humanity. And with that, the white sage spirit metaphysically helps clear away any energies that could be causing density or blockages or stagnation. So with that, it clears up the energy field and it helps reset the energy field. Not just that, but it also brings a protection layer. So it brings spiritual, energetic, and physical protection as well. So that's why you see a lot of different traditions and cultures burn sage. It's either to typically clear a space or to set up a perimeter or bring a protection and clearing to a space. So that is white sage. And of course, there's some more things about it out there, but that's just a little bit of the brief explanation of it. So, I want to thank you all for being here and being a part of this wonderful episode today, episode 57, as we continue to travel the raw material law of one, and we continue to ascend beyond our limitations. With that being said, you, Sandee.
You ready? I'm ready. So the questioner says, let me get my pages, get them ready. Ready to turn. The questioner says, there has been for the past 30 years, and remember these books were written quite a while ago, but they're still vital. They still give us so much information. They're still applicable in what we have a designation of time. Duality requires time. Outside of duality, there's no time. Everything just flows. And it's okay to have a concept of time within the duality. We were given that so that we can express, grow, expand, shift, and evolve. As we shift and evolve, we go into different versions or different modalities within our consciousness as we grow and move up the conscious level from fourth density consciousness to fifth density consciousness. And some people are in 144th density consciousness, and they're seeing the 3D world differently than someone else that's looking at it from just a third density modality. That's okay. For me, whatever consciousness I am, which the divine says I'm further along than 5D, and I say, don't tell me, I just want to enjoy it. Sometimes time just falls in on itself. Sometimes my now moments aren't days. Somebody has to remind me, oh, Sandee, remember, this is Wednesday. Oh, yeah. It's not that I'm being absent-minded. It's not that I'm having Alzheimer's. It's just I'm seeing 3D through a different conscious level. It's not for me to try to convince others that it's okay for me to be that way. It's just for me to be. So 30 years for this questioner might be a day to raw, or it might be a blip in a moment. But yet the questioner asks the way he knows to ask it. And if you are in a different level, conscious level, it's okay to have a question about it. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. For me, when I say that, if it vibrates with you, let it create. What doesn't vibrate with you, leave the energy in the room. Somebody else can pick it up. Don't spend any time judging it. You'll find the next ounce or 2 ounces or 3 ounces of information that helps to put your puzzle piece together. It's okay. The questioner says, there has been, for the past 30 years, a lot of information and a lot of confusion. And in fact, take the comma, I would say that the law of confusion has been working overtime to make a small joke in bringing information for spiritual catalysts to groups requesting it. And we know that both the positively and the negatively oriented social memory complexes have been adding to this information as they can. This has led to a condition of apathy in a lot of cases with respect to the information. Many who are truly seeking have been throttled by what I might call spiritual empathy, entropy in this information. Can you comment on this and the mechanisms of alleviating these problems? I got to slow my roll. I am raw. We can comment on this. The questioner says, only if you deem it of importance would I request a comment. And then the questioner says, if you deem it of no importance, we'll skip it. I am Ra. This information is significant to some degree as it bears upon your own mission at this time. We of the Confederation are at the call of those upon your planet. If the call, though sincere, is fairly low in consciousness of the, shall we say, system by where spiritual evolution may be precipitated, then we may only offer that information useful to the particular caller. This is the basis difficulty. Entities receive the information. They receive basic information about the original thought and the means, that is, meditation and service to others, whereby this original thought may be obtained. Ross says, please note that as Confederation members, we are speaking for positively oriented entities. We believe that the Orion group has precisely the same difficulty. Once this basic information is received, it is not put into practice in the heart and in the life experience, but instead rattles about within the mind complex distortion, as would a building block which has lost its place and simply rolls from side to side uselessly. Yet still the entity calls. Therefore, the same basic information is repeated. Ultimately, the entity decides that it is weary of the repetitive information. However, if an entity puts into practice that which it is given, it will not find repetition except when needed. The questioner says, thank you. Are the here we go. Are the chakras or bodily energy centers related to, or do they operate like the pyramid energy funnel? He's asking again. Ra says, simply, I am Ra. And one sentence, no, with a period. The questioner, was there a purpose for mummification having to do with anything other than bodily burial? I am Ra. Much as we would like to speak to you of this distortion of our design and construction of the pyramid, we can say very little, for the intent was quite mixed and the uses, though many felt them to be positive, were of some non-positive order of the generation. We cannot speak upon this subject without infringing upon some basic energy balances between the positive and the negative forces upon your planet. It may be said that those offering themselves felt they were offering themselves in service to others. Over to you, Marcus.
It's really interesting. He said no.
He said it in a full sentence with period. No.
I didn't expect that. No, I didn't expect that. That's an interesting twist. Wow.
If you guys didn't hear that question, let me repeat it. That's why it's got us a little like,
Yeah, it's very fascinating.
Are the chakras or body energy centers related to, or do they operate like the pyramid energy funnels? And Ross just said simply, no with a period, with no explanation. I think
Well, I guess,
maybe we need to explain the word funnel. I think, how about you help us out
yeah,
with
I
that?
think it's I think it's just different. They're different structures, or different purposes, so to say. Like a chakra and a pyramid. Chakra's more like a wheel. Pyramid's more like a shaped pyramid. So I feel like it definitely is kind of different for sure. Because if something's a pyramid shape, it's gonna generate energy in a different way, and it's gonna move that energy in a different way. Plus, it's also up and down. And also, somebody in the comments, Starry Godmother, she said one more time with the question, please.
One more time with the question. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It says, are you ready? I'm going to even slow my roll even slower, okay? The questioner says, are the chakras or bodily energy centers related to, or do they operate like the pyramid energy funnel? Ra simply says, I am Ra, no, with a period. And if you remember when I do my soul conversations, when we talk, no simply is a full sentence with a period. It's fully stopped. You can say no with a question mark. You can say no with a period. You can say no with a comma, and then you can go to explain it if you choose. Ra chose no with a period. And he went on, the questioner went on to ask about the mummification and the bodily burial. They just moved on. Right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think what is Ra is telling him, we had an upgrade.
Probably you guys out there could be curious what I'm snacking on.
You froze there a minute. Yeah. Right? For me, what I'm feeling right now is Ra is saying no. It's just like Marcus said. The pyramids were originally given. Was originally given because we hadn't grew and expanded. They were given to us because it was believed when Ra walked them that they are, when they walked this earth in that area 14,000 years ago, they thought we were ready for the pyramids. They thought we were ready to learn the vibration of the design and how the design channeled the energy. I believe, and it's vibrating, so I believe, but you take what resonates. You don't have to believe what I believe. I believe we got an upgrade when we moved into third density. You say, how did we get an upgrade? Third density is moving down the channel, but we moved down this channel and was given the ability to be in third density because we, our higher beings, wanted to have more expressions of stories. We wanted to feel the polarity of negative and positive because we wanted to experience everything that is and is not. And the only way that we could do it is the only way to experience unconditional love or even conditional love is to experience its opposite. And we got an upgrade because then the energy centers were we were born with them. We didn't have to use tools outside of ourselves. Because you think about it, the pyramids were tools outside of itself. When you go to your internet, it is a tool outside of you in physical form given to you to use, however you wish to use it. So you got an upgrade when you came into
figured it out.
Right? You got an upgrade. Woo! Upgrade. What is that song? Upgrade.
I figured it out.
Yeah, upgrade, right? Come on. The songs be telling you, listen to the songs and lyrics, not just religious music. Listen to all the music. You're going to hear the divine talking to you in a lyric. Maybe not all, the whole song might not vibrate to you, but you're going to hear of a lyric or the hook, and it's going to just vibrate. And you're going to go, ooh, I just got a download from that. Right?
It makes sense too when you think about it, because a pyramid has what? It has the bottom and the top. And it basically either draws energy from the top or the bottom. It doesn't really draw energy from the middle points of it, the areas in between. It's more of just like the top or the bottom. But then you think about a human being. Okay, a human being, yeah, it has the crown at the top, has the root at the bottom, which would be similar to the pyramid. But then you have exactly what Sandee's pointing to. All these chakras that are in between, that are not of the top or the bottom, but are self-generating from in between, and are all based upon you, your human being, and your own unique blueprint and health and well-being. So I don't know how to explain this fully, but I'm just going to allow it to flow out. But it's almost like human beings, maybe in the beginning of their earth time here, the human avatar or the human archetype may have only operated from just a crown chakra and root chakra bases, like a pyramid back during that period of time, which is why there could have needed to have been, that extraterrestrial presence here to help, due to maybe not being able to verbalize the downloads in the ways that we knew how to yet as human beings, as well as how to express it emotionally. So maybe that's why we had so many of our higher dimensional guides on this planet during the time to help us during that. I don't know. It's intriguing that it's coming up inside of me right now, but I'm really loving this information that we're coming across. And it kind of would make sense, like, the advancement, because, you hear about like the first level of human, which is, if you tie this in with like the Anunnaki story, you hear about the humans were made to just be very generic, very slave raised, basically have no empowerment energy. But then they say that, Enki and Enlil, the Anunnaki, they say that, Enki, which was more the positive polarity, came in and then gave an advancement to human genetics and gave them the empowerment ability of being able to self-empower. And you hear these kind of stories in all sorts of different ways throughout different cultures in the world. And it's very intriguing, like really whatever's coming through, to think about how, maybe the rest of the chakra system that's in between the top and bottom was that advancement for human beings. And we became, self-governing basically because of that chakra system being full and whole for this being. Quite interesting. What do you think, Sandee? Back to you.
Well, I mean, man, whew, things are moving while he was talking, and I was in okay.
Yeah.
Here I go. I'm gonna slow my roll. The first three lower chakras, your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, those are always on point. I'm letting the divine say it, on point. That's your center of your point of attraction. That's how you view the world. That's how your ego wants to be your personality. We'll say it. So we'll call instead of always saying ego, because a lot of people get tired of hearing ego, your personality that brings in the world to you, brings it in through your first three chakras. The root says, I'm taken care of. I'm a fight, it's fight or flight. It's, that kind of thing. And the sacral takes it in and it's, okay, how can I'm creative, but I don't know how to be. When you become aware of these chakras and you start to utilize the energy, and it's called, shifting and growing and expanding while you're learning, you're retraining these chakras to take in information and to expel information to create your world. When you get more vibrant at it through whichever, there are so many meditation forms that you can use. One size does not fit all. But when you start to begin to become aware that you are in control of the energy that moves through your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus, then you start to grow and expand, and you move into your heart chakra. Your heart chakra starts to open up and take it in, so it can feed it that energy to being open to your higher chakras. It's all about shifting and evolution. You were given these chakras to move through. There are some people in this world that will only be in their lower three chakras. And you know what the divine says to that? What the divine told me? Let it be so. Why? Because the divine is still experiencing that person through those chakras. It's still experiencing and expressing life in 3D. Why? Because that's what it came to do. It created your glorious body to move through. So I just truly believe that we have the ability to choose. So if somebody moves up to the heart chakra, but they can't get into their throat or their third eye or their crown, it's not a negative or a positive. It's process. It's flow. No right or wrong to it. I truly believe that's why Ra just said no. That the pyramids are outside tools. They were created to vibrate with you. Your chakras were created to vibrate through you. If you want to ask a question, remember, ask the question. Go ahead and ask. I remember my mother used to tell me, if you don't ask a question, you won't know. If you get an answer and have the opportunity to discern it for you, for your highest and greatest good, for your story, then you get to know. Let's see. People are light trapped within the darkness of their body. Ammunition Productions. Only through the light at the end of the tunnel can they escape. In order to have light, you have to have dark. In order to have dark, you have to have light. We were created with this polarity. For me, I have learned that I don't want to escape my dark. I want to ask my dark a question to open up the light within it. Why now? What are you hiding from me? How can I move through you? Over to you, Marcus. Do you want to help him with that statement? I think it's a very good statement. Thank you so much for that statement.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No. I just want to just take a moment and I love it. So, boy, let's begin with the first Hermetic principle. The first Hermetic principle in the 7 Hermetic principles of the universe. Number 1 is the all is mental. The law of mentalism. All in the universe is mental, which means we are of mental vibrations of energy and frequency. And with that being said, our words, the words that we form together into sentences and continue to use through our vocalization, as well as our internal processing of repeating to ourselves and to others, continues to etch another mark in the programming of who you are and the way that you believe and perceive your life to be through limit or non-limit, depending upon where you are constructed. So with that being said, sometimes we got to analyze our own self when we're analyzing others to see what we're saying is aligned with how we truly believe life to be, or that we want to embody life to be through our words and vocabulary about others and where they could be. So what I mean by this is, for example, and this ain't about like putting anybody on the spot, but I'm just going to use your example in the comments, Nation Productions, if you don't mind me using yours as an example, is just, people are light trapped within the darkness of their body. So the thing is that is a perception of many, though. And we have the choice to either believe that people are trapped, or we have the choice to believe that maybe they're just going through an alchemization process exactly how they need to. And I can trust that they're just as capable as I am, because they're of the same exact cloth and fabric that makes up the breath of all life. Maybe they are going through the darkness of their body so they can gain some keys and wisdom, just like we all do, and we go through our darkness of the body. So it's things like that for me that I analyze about myself is, am I placing a limit upon others, or am I placing a limit upon my own perception of how others could be and their capabilities because of where I believe that I am compared to them? Because for all we know, the most silent ones could be the ones that are the most conscious and purposely putting themselves through the deepest and darkest experiences. So for me, I just kind of cut those cords, stop trying to analyze to where I'm judging, and then I just analyze. Oh, they're going through this experience. Okay. If they need assistance, I can either offer it, they can ask for it. But outside of that, they're going through what they're going through, and that's their experience. Who's to say if they're trapped? Who's to say if they're not about to have their most broken through moment of their life because of the darkness that they're in? For me, when I went to prison, you could probably say I was trapped, but I was far from trapped in prison. I became the most enlightened in my life, probably. So it's things of that nature of just where are we choosing to look? Where are we choosing to vibrate? But and then lastly too, oh, my tea's going off. I also try to help people remember too that maybe it's not about seeking or becoming or waiting for anything or thinking that there's somewhere to become, but just to remember that you already are the light and you always are the light and you always will be. And if you just remember that in the moment, then you can help activate that within yourself. So there's that. I'm gonna hand it to you and get my tea.
To me, that goes well into what Ross says. We are here to explore the positive polarity and the negative polarity. Our higher beings, not just only body and mind, but our higher beings get to choose whether it wants to dabble in the positive polarity or the negative polarity. And Ra defined positive polarity as service to others, knowing that you're already taken care of. You know where you came from. You know that the divine sent you here with everything. You knew that you were going to be veiled a little bit. You knew that you were going to have things happen that helped you to recall who you were and where you came from, and that you are here on an expressive journey. Our higher beings also had the right to dabble in the negative polarity. Negative polarity being service to self only at the cost of others. Some of our different services, whether you call them the political service or the religious, the hierarchy of religion, serves a self before they serve others. But they have the right to do that. Do you have a right to follow them? Yes, you can if you want. You can be part of that group if you want. Do you want to break free from it? You have that same right to break free. It's called free will. That's all Ra is telling us. Every time we turn around, Ra is telling us this. You have the right to see others as you want. But just remember, when you're seeing others, you're seeing the view of yourself within them. You're seeing an expression of yourself within them. You have to discern if you don't want to be like that or not, or if you rather be like something else or not. So here we go. The other bullet points of this page, and it's the bullet points and then we'll go back. It's the bullet points of your life flows in a natural cycle. The other bullet point says, now in this body, you give birth to expanded ideas of your life. We've been taught to give expanded ideas of everybody else's life but ours. And it's the idea is we give it through judgment. The law of attraction, the next bullet point, the law of attraction now responds to those ideas and calls them forth into manifestation. Here you go. Whatever you say out loud, whether you're talking about somebody else, the law of attraction and vibration bring it back to you, not to somebody else. I believe what the divine is, and I'm feeling it, is karma is very personal. The vibration of karma is very personal. Yes, somebody can do something to you, but the moment that you say out of your mouth what you would like karma to do to them, karma is not going to point it to them, it's going to point it to you. It's personal. Doesn't give the person who did something to you a pass, because if it's personal, whatever they put out, karma is going to give them back. The next bullet point says, now from an existing perspective, another thought is given. You get to decide if it doesn't fit you. Just like when you go to the store and try on some pants or a pair of shoes, if it doesn't fit you perfectly, you take them off, you put them back in the box, and you ask the attendee for a different size to try that on to see if it fits you. The law of attraction responds to that thought, and that momentum is created. You create the momentum. The point of attraction is within you. That's why the pyramids, they were outside tools. All your chakras are inside tools. Part of you, part of your point of attraction. And at that momentum, by the law of attraction, responds to thought and is in the current of life. It's in your now moment. So no matter how much you think, now, if you want to think about the past, if that's where you're thinking and vibrating, then the universe and the energy of the universe can do nothing but give you what you vibrate at. So if it keeps giving you the past recurring, it's because that's where you are vibrational. The chakras were given to you personally. You came in with those tools already. But guess what? If you don't want to use your chakras, if you want to go ahead and go to the bowels of Egypt, I don't know why the divine said it that way, and require that you be part of that process of the pyramids. The divine says if you're vibrating there, you'll get there somehow. Right? And ammunition product says, lastly, some people can see in the dark and they perceive it as light. To build onto your point, some people are comfortable in the darkness, never seeking light. And okay, let that be so for you and your discernment or judgment of others. That's okay. Because you might have met some people that gave you that impression. Darkness is not a bad place to be. It's depending on how you feel about the darkness. We came in veiled. Our higher beings came into our bodies and this experience knowing that they were going to be veiled, that they were going to have amnesia because their higher energy coming into a lower vibrational body was going to have them veiled. And through the lessons, the dark and the light, the good and the bad, the happy and the sad, the good health and the bad health, they were going to have an expression of life that was going to help them recall who they were. Now, because you don't feel like you like it in this body, because you already know that you're a spiritual being of light and you don't want to deal with anything because of the light, I finally understood I'm not giving my higher being ample expression of a journey. If I just don't want to, if I only want to be spiritual and I don't want to be body and I don't want to be mind. Ra just says that you have to be triune. You were given the opportunity here in this moment to experience that. So just because we have a spiritual moment, or even take it back to my Baptist days, a come to Jesus moment, doesn't mean I'm better than anybody else and I have the right to judge them on how they're awakening or what their process is that they're going through, or even giving them a moment to say, you can't stay in the darkness because then you ain't doing it right. Darkness was meant there to shine a light. The light was meant to help you shine on and feel the darkness so that you could grow and expand. But guess what? In this 3D duality, we were meant to experience it all. Every opportunity, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think that was a movie by Clint Eastwood. But we were meant to express it all. So here we go with the next question. The questioner says to Ra, what civilization was it that helped Ra using the pyramids, pyramid shape, while Ra was in third density? While Ra was in our third density, I believe 12 billion years ago, maybe it might be 14 billion because we're on the third book already. But while they, and he in physical form, but he always called himself they, right? Walked the third density. The questioner is saying, what was the civilization that he walked with? I am Ra. Your people have a fondness for the naming. I love this. I have to laugh. We want to know the name and we want to know the label. And remember, only in third density do we do the label and do we do the naming and do we separate everything out. That's why Ra says you people have fondness for the naming. These entities have begun their travel back to the Creator and are no longer experiencing time. So did you see what Ra did? Ra didn't name the civilization. But let's keep going. The questioner says the instrument, and that's what Ra calls the person that he's channeling or they're channeled through. That's what the questioner says. The questioner says the instrument wishes to know, when using the pendulum in discovering energy centers, what the back and forth motion meant instead of the circular motion. This is a very good question. I am Ra. This shall have to be the final question. Although the entity is still providing us with energy, it is experiencing the distortion towards hand. When you're being channeled through, you are one with those higher beings that are channeling through you. They feel your pain. Ross says the rotation having been discussed, remember we're on book 3, we shall simply say that the weak, W-E-A-K, whew, I gotta slow my roll, W-E-A-K, back and forth motion indicates a partial blockage. Want to hear that again? A partial blockage, although not a complete blockage. The strong back and forth motion indicates the reverse of blockage, which is overstimulation of a chakra or energy center, which is occurring in order to attempt to balance some difficulty in body or mind complex activity. This condition is not helping or helpful to the entity as it is unbalanced. Are there any brief queries before we leave this instrument? The questioner says, only is there anything that we can do to make the instrument more comfortable or to improve the contact? I am Ra. Be merry, my friends. MERRY. Be merry, my friends. All is well. Your conscientiousness is to be recommended. We leave you in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. Rejoice then and go forth in the peace and in the glory of the one infinite creator. I am Ra Adonai. Over to Marcus. Oh, no. And ammunition. I wasn't saying you're judging. No. That word came out, judging or discernment, because we usually do that at some point in time in our life. But I wasn't saying you're judging. Because I didn't walk in your shoes with the people that you have interacted with. Your assessment or your discernment might be on point.
Mm-hmm.
Over to you, Marcus.
Yeah, we all have very intricate walks that we walk daily, and no one's going to really be close to the same in your full spectrum experience of life. And I've just been really grateful to be detached from it, detached from trying to define everything and label, hold on to, but to allow everything to be and know that I have free will and I can consciously choose how my vibratory rate is, what I exchange it with. And that's like really what it comes down to in life. What's your vibratory field? How are you exchanging with it? You want to call yourself this, call yourself that. You want to say that you're of this race or this culture, go ahead and say that. Whatever it may be, that's your coding. That's how you want to hardwire yourself. So be it. But just know that we're all supposed to go through duality. Duality is what makes up this dimension that we're in, this realm, this world, however you'd like to describe it. And we're literally meant to be in it. We're meant to dive in. We're meant to experience it in its totality, to optimize it while we're here. You're not going to have this individual vehicle again, not in the exact way it is. So why not dive deep? Dive deep into the shadows. And then through that, as good old Toph the Atlantean says, Toph the Atlantean says it time and time again. I descend and ascend the ladder hundreds of thousands of millions of times. So, I mean, observe. And observe for what is. And just know that you can keep on doing what you want to do with your free will. It's quite amazing.
Oh, what do
check
we
this
have
out.
here? Oh, look
So
at
this is
that.
hand painted on real papyrus from Cairo, Egypt. One of a kind, definitely not duplicated. Not the exact way this is made, with the colors and everything. Very powerful portal.
Beautiful. Oof. Powerful, powerful energy.
You guys
Last week,
just want to. You guys want to tune in?
hmm, hmm.
Imashuna usuyanata ya Imeanatu Yasianatu Yamakute Yamatu Yamanashiato Upunati Imeatu Gayamati.
Last week and the week before last,
Oui.
Ra had said that while Ra was sent to that vibration called Egypt, or that land, there were others that were sent at the same exact time to other lands with the same information, sharing that vibration. Because we as human beings kind of wonder, well, why are there pyramids in other lands? Why are there pyramids in Tennessee, or why are there pyramids in the Far East? Why are the shapes sort of the same? Ra said that we were sharing the information because we thought that humanity was ready. And as I read that, kind of without you seeing my mouth drop, it was like, wow, that was answering a distinct vibrational question that I had for the divine. That this had to be happening at this, if we're going to talk about time in third density, it had to be happening at the same time all over our world. So some of us, because I just kind of went, okay, you want to tell me that it all started here, Egypt, Africa, but for my youthful mind, I said, why just one place? Why not everywhere all at once? Because that was what vibration did. For me, that answer, that confirmation came last week and the week before. That everything was vibrating. We want to think that it came from one woman and one man. And I just said, there had to be more. Now, that was from my Baptist background. That was from my born again Christian background. Me asking, there had to be more. for me. Doesn't mean the story has to change for you. If that's the story that you're satisfied with, divine says, let it be so. I'm going to express myself and then just that way. If your story is that God is outside of you and not moving in, through, and as you, the divine says, I am going to express through you in exactly that way. Why? Because that is the intention of all that is and all that is not. Like Marcus says, you're only going to have this one body in this format. You may show up in another body just a little bit different. But in this one lifetime, your higher being is expressing you. And it's saying, explain it to me. Show me what you feel, why you feel it, how you feel it. Show me what the next step is. I've never seen it this way through you. This book, I've read some of it to you before. It's called Act of Consciousness. Mind is consciousness. It's realizing that it's consciousness and it is aware. And all I'm to do is just to read the sentence, the title of this page for you. Power is illusion. And if it's illusion, that means you can create it and make it, bend it to your will, to your illusion. Back to you, Marcus.
Illusions. Illusions causing confusion. Because I'm fusing between different realms. And I can't seem to figure out which way I want to cast the spell. So I sit back and relax and let my flow continue to be until it begins to cleanse and purify thee, refining me into something more holy in the way that I portray myself to be. I realize that the change that I want to see is the way that my vibration is embodied. So here we go. It's time for us to continue. Be in the moment at 0 point energy.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There's infinite possibilities of the way to live your life. Infinite. To our ego, called our personality, that's so confusing. It's chaotic. It's chaos. But the divine created out of organized chaos the ability to create through all of the power, all at once and not at once. The moment that you realize that you are a triune being, the moment that you wake up from the conscious realization that you are living body and mind, and then you expand into inviting your higher being into playing with you, your higher being says, okay, I'm going to play with you, but I'm going to show you how to play. I'm going to open up every vibrational door that you can tap into, and let's go play. You're going to see your 3D so very differently. It doesn't change how other people are interacting with you. What happens is you change the vibration of how you see 3D and how you interact with others. What you decide you want to label something. When I was going through my radiation treatments, I can't tell you how many people said, you must be crazy to want to do that and put that in your body. And you know, you're in a couple of years, you're going to die. Why would you want to speak that over me? But it didn't matter, because the divine told me it's not about how what they're saying. It's about if you're going to receive that energy or not. What do you want to do with it? The divine reminded me I get to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So I didn't take anything. I allowed me to learn how to alchemize energy. You're always talking about energy, transforming and alchemizing. But you're limited when you're only dealing with your human body. Everything has to be in a limited form. But you're a triune being. And your higher being came from a realm that it knows how to operate your energy. Are you going to open up to it? And say, come show me. You come show me how to manipulate form, and I'll come show you what form feels like, and I'll give you the definition, and I'll give you the play-by-play of what I feel and what my emotions are. And if I want to cry, if I want to be in fear, if I want to feel scared for a moment. Because I tell you, without the negative judgment, I was already feeling a little fear. I was already feeling a little alone. My body had to feel that. My higher being says, but Sandee, come on. Come on. That heart space was saying, you're not alone. Everyone, all 8 billion, well over 8 billion of us right now have the right to live our life as we want, as we choose. We get to wake up. We get to have an awakening if we want to. We get to just be conscious of having a body and living a life. We get to live. We get to work all our lives, and we get to die. That is, if that's a person's intention, we cannot judge them for it. We can discern if they're having a conversation with us, and know that the divine is saying, let it be so. I'm living my life as this expression of so and so. SR Raw has given us all this information, has given us all the cheat codes, so we can decide how we're going to live our life. We've been told all our lives from other people what we should do, how we should be, where we should go, and then when to die. Those are higher beings that came in to play the role of an entity controlling. A entity meaning a higher being playing control. You get to decide when you don't want to play there anymore. That's all Ra is saying. Do we have time for one more question?
Absolutely.
The questioner says, is there anything in particular that the instrument could do to improve her physical condition before they start the next round of inquiries? Ross says, this instrument has 2 factors affecting its body distortion. This This is in common with all those which are sensory of vibration, which have reached the green ray. And this is why the divine wants us to leave it on this motion. Green ray, what have we been talking about? The green ray is the heart chakra. Am I correct? That's why we're going to leave it on this note. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which has reached the green ray level of vibratory consciousness complexes. The first is the given in streaming, which vary, VARY, from cycle to cycle in predictable manners. In this particular entity, the cycle complexes at this space-time nexus are not favorable for the physical energy. The second ramification of condition is that which we might call the degree of mental efficiency in use of the catalyst provided for the learning of program lessons in particular and the lessons of love in general. This instrument, unlike some entities, has some further distortions due to the use of pre-incarnative conditions. The questioner says, can you explain what you mean or meant by the cycling in streaming energy? Divine wants me to read this one. I am raw. If you have a pencil, the divine says, write it down. There are 4 types of cycles, which are those given in the moment of entry into incarnation. He's just saying that there are 4 cycles that are given to you at birth when you come into this duality through birth. Here are, and in addition, there are in addition more cosmic and less regularized inpouring, which from time to time affect a sensitized mind-body complex. That's us. The 4 rhythms are, mind you, the divine wants you to know that they're called rhythms, are to some extent known among your people and are called biorhythms. See how we're always labeling something, but Ra catches it. Want you to understand. There is a 4th cycle, which we may call the cycle of gateway of magic or the adept or of spirit. This is a cycle which is completed in approximately 18 of your duration. I've never heard it pronounced this way. DIURNAL, diurnal cycles. The cosmic patterns are also a function of the moment of are also of the function of. I need to slow my roll here. The cosmic patterns are also a function of the moment of incarnation entrance and have to do with your satellite you call the moon. Your planets are your planets of this galaxy, the galactic sun, and in some cases, the in-streaming from the major galactic points of energy flow. So as we leave you today, hopefully Marcus can give us an understanding of that. The green ray. The heart.
The green ray. Boom, boom, boom.
The
Let me pull up a
green
little something for you guys.
ray. Oh, you froze. Are you back?
Perhaps, maybe.
Yes, you're in flow.
Let's see. See if it'll work.
Oh, yes. Forge, Grace, Envy,
See if this will work.
Great sense of humor.
Maybe it won't.
We can hear you talking.
Will it actually do it? Let's see.
Here we go.
There we go. Jeez. Jeez, oh Pete.
Mhm.
All right, so here's a little bit about the heart chakra for you guys. The green ray. As we close out. I'm not sure what's going on. It's like being strange, but there we go. Okay. So the green ray, or the heart chakra, it's in the center of the chest when it comes to the chakra location. And with that being said, that means it's also the center point, or it's the bridge between your other 6 chakras when it comes to your 7 chakra system. Now, we have a lot more chakras than that, but we're not touching on that today. This is just about the 7 chakra system. So the heart chakra within the 7 resides in the center. With it being the bridge or the center, it is the balancing force, the balancing center for your lower 3 chakras, which represent your physical earth life, and your upper 3 chakras, which represent your higher heavenly dimensional life. So that's why they say the heart is the center. That's why they say, all is in the heart. And that is the balance. It's the balance of your emotions. So a little bit more about the heart chakra. It resonates naturally at 639 hertz. So if you're someone that likes sound healing, you can use that frequency to help your heart chakra. And then it is the color green when it comes to the vibration scale and the way that it manifests into color. And then just like the other 7 chakras, or the other 6, I should say, the heart chakra connects to physical parts of your body when it comes to the health and well-being of them. And it governs the heart, the lungs, the chest, the arms, and the hands. And for each chakra, you can kind of tell that the parts of the body are located right around that area of the chakra, because that energy point is that connecting core to all of it. So with that being said, your chakras connect you to your mental and emotional different states and dimensions of yourself. And the heart chakra, with its frequency, it helps you connect to the emotional and mental dimensions of feeling unconditional love between the higher and lower dimensions fluidly and together as one. Your ability to feel compassion by being able to feel what others feel, feeling yourself as one with another being. Through that, you develop compassion, empathy. Empathy is your ability to take on and also transmute. And then I'll just go over a couple of things when it comes to blockages and overactivations and leave it at that for you guys. So some overactivations in the energy center could be being a caregiver or putting others before yourself. And when we say caregiving, we mean constantly putting others before you to where you're basically abusing yourself and you're putting yourself in positions to be drained, to be used, and things of that nature. That'd be an overactive heart. Along with that, poor boundaries, so not knowing where to place love, continuing to give it to those that manipulate, use, and abuse your energy. And then blockages, feeling separate or alone, blood pressure issues, fear of intimacy with others and even with yourself. And then holding on to grudges. Those are all ways to help bring blockages into your heart chakra. So if you can identify those things or you see those things going on, then you can do heart chakra work, whether it's through yoga, breath work, your diet, as well as yoga and other practices. Then you can work on clearing out those connections mentally and emotionally. Comes to your green ray. So that's the heart chakra for you guys.
All right. So when before I started this, the divine had me open a few books, but this is the last paragraph. This is of The Divine Design by Lori Ladd. This is the final statement that the entities that were channeling through her when she wrote the book wanted her to leave us with. And this is what Ra wants me to read. And I am feeling like I'm vibrating from the very crown of my head all the way to the soles of my feet. And I feel like crying right now. It says, as we begin to close this book and share our final thoughts, we want to remind you that you are moving through an evolutionary shift in human consciousness. In a linear time-space dimensional field and within the quantum field. Earth and all on her are evolving individually and collectively. Regardless of the programs and the paradigms and the emotions and the behaviors, thoughts, and beliefs and trauma you are currently experiencing in your third dimensional field, there are other dimensional fields occurring now on the earth plane that you will anchor into. Your reality is shifting, always shifting, and will continue to shift. The divine wants you to know that's what you came here to do. Do not buy into the belief that the world is falling deeper into chaos. Remember what we told you. Earth has anchored a new reality, a new world. Earth is in the 5D. At the time that this book was written, Earth was in the 5D and is waiting for humanity to meet up with her there. Remember, nothing that is occurring on the earth in this moment, both within you and around you, is an accident. This is how an entire human collective evolves into higher states of consciousness. You are all currently experiencing and watching the trauma or density from the human collective be pulled out of the darkness and into the light. Just like your own trauma, your human collective trauma must be seen and it must be felt and it must shift into higher frequencies. The way you move through this is by seeing the trauma, feeling the trauma, and then choosing who you want to be right now. Your choice and your sovereignty are your superpowers. Remember, you always have a choice. It's all choice layered with patience and compassion and surrender, trust, and a deep knowing that all is well with you now. You're surrounded by higher dimensional beings. You are continuously anchored into the next higher version of you in your own form. You are remembering your multidimensionality. You are courageously showing up for yourself and humanity, putting one foot in front of the other. You are cherished. You are light. You are source. You are unique consciousness plane in a human form, standing on a courageous being called Earth. All of this and so much more within and all around you is precious. Light is all so fragile, but the gift of life is your gift. Capital G, capital I, capital F, capital T. Just know you are light, and this is life. It will turn in a blink of an eye, devoured like it was the only now you ever had. There will be a moment when you will be out of form in a higher dimensional consciousness, remembering your human life and what an absolute miracle. And remembering your human life and what an absolute miraculous gift and experience it was and is. We, all that is and is not, love you. We, all that is and is not, are with you. We, all that is and is not, honor you. With that, I say thank you for joining us, ascending beyond limitations, deep diving into you, making yourself aware of all that is and all that is not, bringing your forth to live this embraceable life, all that is and all that is not. Thank you.
Everybody, have a blessed and beautiful moment of moments. Wholeness and balanced love. Stay tuned for a preview for a June Holistic Healing Colorado retreat that I'm going to be hosting with a few others. Tap in, reach out if you have questions. I have many retreats throughout this year around the country, as well as other beautiful spaces and wonderful things going on. Balance love.
Are you yearning to recharge and reconnect? I will show you how to get the most epic refresh of your life. Looking for a refresh and recharge this weekend? On May 3rd and 4th, join us in Hocking Hills, Ohio for a 2-day Star Wars-themed holistic nature retreat. Led by Marcus Christolight of Sacred Light and Heather Lynn of Heart Alchemy Wellness, this retreat blends nature, wellness, and a galaxy far, far away. Day 1 kicks off with a cacao ceremony and shamanic space blessing by Ashley Ballard, followed by a Princess Leia-themed sound healing flow shop at Rose Lake with Heather. Yes, it's Star Wars-themed for May 4th. Enjoy a picnic dinner with the sunset, leading into fire and flow arts with Chris Rust. Day 2 begins with rising yoga led by Amanda Yogini to align us for a day of hiking. While exploring the trails, we'll have a picnic-style lunch and a Star Wars archetype and elemental meditation with Marcus Christolight. To wrap up, we'll gather for dinner at camp and a fun hooping flow shop with Sarah Neighbors. In between flow shops and meals, there's free time for one-on-one healing and exploration at your own leisure. Tickets are available until Friday, May 2nd. Scan the QR code to register or text Marcus Christolight at 513-238-5580. May the force be with you on your wellness journey.